All right, hey everyone. Welcome to the first official episode of a little podcast me and my friend here are starting. I'm Brandon,
I'm Josh.
and this is going to be called Nerd Talk Network.
We're going to discuss a lot of really fun topics on this channel. I think you'd all be really interested to hear our opinions, thoughts, etc.
Or maybe you won't be interested to hear it. It's hard to say which way this will go. We're probably going to, we're going to talk about movies a lot, definitely, so this is going to be a very spoiler-heavy channel.
Yeah, I'm a big movie fan. That's definitely something I prefer talking about. It's something I like discussing with a ton of different people. I know Brandon is a big gamer. He likes video games.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the video game.
Me personally, I don't play a ton of games. I really like Call of Duty, and most gamers consider that like the worst game on the planet.
I don't know. I think the last few Call of Duties have been all right seeming. Well, I'd like to go ahead and get this out of the way. This podcast is, in fact, going to include multiple spoilers for the new Star Wars movie. So if you haven't seen it yet,
I don't know who hasn't seen the Star Wars movie. What are you doing?
yeah,
Seriously,
like what the fuck are you doing with your life? Just save up like $8 and go watch a matinee of it. You don't need popcorn. You don't need a drink. Just go watch it.
just go see the damn movie.
So yeah, this is gonna have Star Wars spoilers. But what can you expect from Nerd Talk Network other than obviously movie and game talk? This is probably gonna be, I think at least bi-weekly would be a good upload, but it's kind of just whenever we have the ability to talk about multiple topics that we're interested in.
Yeah, for sure. If there's something that I feel like we can sit down and have fun discussing, it's probably going to end up on the channel.
Yeah, because I think we can get together at least once a week to record, but
Yeah, for sure.
it's
for
just
sure.
a matter of whether. Jesus, I can't speak. Okay, it's a matter of whether or not we will have topics to speak about.
But I feel like
about.
we're definitely going to find a lot of interesting things to discuss throughout the lifetime of this channel, for sure.
Yeah. I know we hope to get a visual element, so it's not just the Nerd Talk Network logo on the screen, but that's definitely something that's going to be further down the line.
You get to see our beautiful faces.
Oh yeah, the face reveal, it's going to be sexy.
Very,
Yeah.
very.
So, do you want to go ahead and get into Star Wars, I guess?
Yeah. Star Wars obviously has been a big topic of discussion since really the first teaser trailer like a year and a half ago. I was a huge fan of Episode 7. You know, it was...
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Episode 7, it was really good, but there's a lot of rehashed stuff. A lot of, oh, they did this before. But I think that's necessary to get people reinterested in Star Wars. To kind of get all of that out of their system so the next 2 episodes can have a lot of new stuff that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the same boat as you. I think the reason that Episode 7 follows a lot of the same story beats as Episode 4 is to get the old Star Wars fans, the dedicated Star Wars fans that have been around this franchise since the beginning. We're getting them back on board for this new trilogy, but we're also getting a new group of fans in with all the new characters that we have come to learn about in Episode 7, and we're going to go on their adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, it's definitely like kind of just to get, people who used to love Star Wars be like, oh yeah, right, Star Wars, I liked that thing. Now I can go see it again, but it'll be different. Hopefully.
Yeah, it was certainly a nostalgia trip for the hardcore
Yeah.
Star Wars fans and the Star Wars fans who are just casual fans.
And while I am fine with them, we're touching up on some themes that were already gone out, that they already went over in the previous Star Wars movies. I just why did they make a third Death Star? I don't.
Yeah, that's definitely a questionable choice in the screenplay.
Like
J.J. Abrams, I'm not 3 times in this case. 3 times isn't the charm. Whatever that saying is.
You have to just look at it from Kylo Ren's perspective. He's like, okay, I'm gonna take over the Empire. I'm gonna rename it. Whatever First Order. Okay, so the Empire, they made the Death Star. That didn't work. It blew up. And then they started rebuilding the Death Star. That didn't work. It blew up. So obviously, my choice as the new person running the Empire would be to make a bigger Death Star.
You gotta admit the Star Killer base was actually pretty cool. Like the 2 Death Stars before it, I wasn't they were just I guess you could say normal moons that happen to be giant destroyers, as crazy as that sounds. But the Starkiller Base was a freaking planet.
Yeah.
Okay, and it had this like it just had some really cool elements. It was like a cooler take on the Death Star, in my opinion. I don't know, it just added something to the movie because it was just a really cool thing to see on screen.
Yeah.
Even if it was a retread of the Death Star, I thought it was a really cool addition to this new trilogy.
So, another problem I have with the Starkiller Base is that, does this thing have like amazing aiming, or can it like move on its own to like lock onto a planet to blow it up? Because with the Death Star, it could move around space.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. I'm not sure.
So
that definitely limits the targets that this thing can have. I'm gonna guess that J.J. Abrams and the people behind Star Wars didn't really think that we were gonna question something like that.
I mean,
they just thought we'd accept it.
That occurred to me on like my third viewing of this movie.
Yeah. Had you not brought that up just now, I probably would have never thought about it.
And then like another thing is, to power the Starkiller Base, they need the power from the sun. But like the Starkiller Base is orbiting the sun, so when they get rid of it, does it just kind of fly off wherever? Because they don't have control over where it's going.
Well,
there's a lot of
bring up a pretty big flaw.
There's a lot of
as far as the whole Starkiller Base.
There's a lot of issues with the science behind it.
Yeah,
but I guess it's a movie, so.
Yeah, we are talking about a movie called Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just the title alone, you got to suspend some disbelief.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm really surprised we managed to talk about the Starkiller Base alone for like 4 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, that's hopefully a good sign of how well this is gonna go for us.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, just give me, outside of specific things, maybe just like an overall impression. Like what were your thoughts? What are your thoughts right now about Star Wars Episode 7: The Force Awakens?
I thought visually it was amazing. Lots of actual sets, lots of shooting on location, lots of practical effects and puppeting and all that fun stuff. The new score from John Williams is really good. I don't know that it's like, for me, it's not necessarily on par with the scores from the previous movies, but that just might be like a nostalgia thing. I know the London Symphony Orchestra wasn't used, but yeah, overall, I really like the movie. I've seen it 4 times, so obviously I like the movie a bit.
Yeah, I've seen it 3 times in theaters. I thought the movie was just a really, really fun theater experience. I really enjoy all of the new characters: Poe Dameron, Finn, Rey, the new characters plus the old characters. I thought it all flowed really well. The interaction, the dialogue.
I don't think there's a single new character I don't like, actually. I mean, Captain Phasma doesn't really do a whole lot in the movie, but I don't not like the character, I guess.
I feel like the reaction to this character has been pretty mixed, but Kylo Ren was probably my favorite character in the movie. He was just a really funny character in with the temper tantrums that he throws. Plus, he's also a really cool badass villain, just a really cool mixture of being a badass plus being a head case. I just thought that was an interesting take on a villain. Really makes me curious to see what happens with the character in the next 2 episodes.
Yeah, something I did just think of is, even if you didn't like Kylo Ren, I feel like you would still want to know more about the character, which is something that it's very impressive that they pulled that off. That can be applied to, all the characters.
Yeah. One thing that I really like about this movie, which I'm not sure if I like it more than the movie itself, is the questions that it raises for Episode 8. There's just so many things we don't know about these characters, specifically the big topic, the character that everybody wants to know the origin of, and that's Rey. Is she a Skywalker? Is she Luke's daughter? Is she related to Obi-Wan Kenobi? I've even heard that. There's just so many different possible routes they can go with this character, and I cannot wait to see what they do with her in Episode 8.
Yeah, I think JJ might have purposely left it very open-ended for whomever is directing Episode 8. I kind of forgot. I should probably know.
It's Rian Johnson, the director of Looper. If you guys haven't seen that movie, go check it out.
Yeah.
Who do you think Rey is?
I mean, I'd hope that they don't go the route of her being Luke's daughter or a Skywalker in general. I feel like that's very predictable and I don't think it'd have much of a payoff because they're kind of hiding it and they'd be like, oh yeah, that the obvious answer is the thing you're hiding from us. Nice.
Okay, yeah.
But,
based on a movie J.J. Abrams has coming out later this year, which we might discuss later, I'm not totally sure at the moment, but 10 Cloverfield Lane, like that movie, like it's all set up for us to think one thing when it could be another, and I think that's kind of the route that he's taking this Rey character in. Everybody thinks that she's a Skywalker, and that's why I think she isn't. I don't really have anything to back up that theory other than that's about it. I don't like it. Just seems too obvious to me for her to be a Skywalker. It kind of takes away any suspense and like anticipation, speculation for the sequel if we already know the answer from watching episode 7.
I think, well, there is a theory that she might have some relation to Emperor Palpatine, which I think would be really cool if they could pull that off. But I'm almost kind of hoping that she doesn't have a background tied to any characters. Like, she's just, like, no, we never actually, maybe, like, if we never found out, like, she wasn't, or, yeah, if she wasn't, like, related to any of the Skywalkers or anything.
Was there even anything in the movie, maybe I need to watch it again, I don't know if this shows how well I paid attention, but is there even anything in the movie that actually hints at her, like, hard evidence that hints at her being related to any of the characters?
Not really, unless maybe the lightsaber flashback scene. That's the only thing I think of.
Yeah, and even then, like, I guess I'm not too familiar with the mythology surrounding the Force, but I feel like that doesn't seem, like, I feel like there has to be more than that to convince me that she is Luke Skywalker's daughter.
Yeah. The only real evidence we have of, like, whom her parents are would be the ship flying away in that flashback area.
Yeah, okay.
Movie.
Speaking of that scene, Maz Kanata in the movie says, whoever you're waiting for is not coming back, but somebody could, and Rey's response was Luke, which implies that Luke was not on the ship. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into this. I feel like a ton of people are just under the assumption that was Luke Skywalker, but that line right there just has me second guessing that theory. It just seems too obvious to me, like that. Like I said, that would just take away a lot of the fun of speculating who she is if we just know the answer from episode 7. All we have to do is watch episode 7 and we know that she's a Skywalker. I want more mystery surrounding her character.
Yeah, I would be very disappointed if that's the route they went.
And is Finn a Calrissian?
I mean, there's a possibility, but we don't really have any kind of evidence pointing to it.
Yeah, there's literally nothing hinting at that, which maybe for that reason he absolutely is a Calrissian. that would be the fun thing for J.J. Abrams to do. It would throw everyone off guard. I don't think anybody, well, not many people, maybe just me. I'm like the only one who thinks he is a Calrissian, and yep.
Yeah. So the basis of your theory is because I think it is, which is great.
Yeah. We won't. Yeah.
I'm not entirely convinced that Finn is not a Jedi. I think he has some form of Force capabilities. He's just not like an Anakin or a Luke level Force user. Like he's just like an average, and he just doesn't know it. I don't know. I'm just not convinced he's not a Jedi. To some extent.
Did they say anything in the movie about him always displaying signs of like wanting to go against the First Order, or like was that his first battle? I'm really confused.
I think it's implied that was his first battle. Yeah.
But then he also says he's a janitor in the movie.
Maybe they promoted him from sanitation to that.
Interesting.
Or maybe he fucked up in sanitation, so they sent him out.
Oh yeah. We're gonna put him on the battlefield because he doesn't know how to change trash.
Yeah.
Oh, another character that should have been freaking awesome, but turned out to be such a huge disappointment was Captain Phasma. Did she even do a single thing in the movie?
She turned off the shields. That's it.
So in a way, she was actually a central part of the plot, but not in the way that she should have been.
I really thought she was going to play like a main role in the movie, but from the marketing, it kind of shows that she would be far more important than she was in the movie.
It's like she was supposed to be this trilogy's Boba Fett, but I think Boba Fett did more in the few scenes. He didn't really do anything in the original trilogy, but he still did more than Captain Phasma did in this movie.
There's a theory that Boba Fett's actually the person who killed Luke's parents, since he does have that incinerator. And when Darth Vader's talking to him in Empire Strikes Back, he says, like, I want I'm paraphrasing hardcore because I can't remember the line, but Darth Vader basically tells Boba Fett that he wants Han Solo and Leia and them alive, no incinerations. And Luke's parents were like burned alive to death. Yeah, alive to death. That's
Luke's parents are Darth Vader and Padme, though.
No, yeah, I'm a expert on Star Wars, by the way. I know a lot of things.
Yeah. We all.
You know what I fucking mean. Uncle Owen and Aunt Teresa.
Oh, okay. Now I know who you mean. I was confused during that whole segment. I'm like,
I'm such a dumb.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. What?
Yeah, but that's the theory.
Was there anything else that stood out to you in the movie besides? Oh, another character. I guess before we jump topics, General Hux. He was a really cool character to me. A lot of people say that Domhnall Gleeson, I think that's how you pronounce his name. They say he kind of overacted, but that just added a lot to the character for me. He was basically Hitler for the First Order, and I just really enjoyed seeing him on screen.
Honestly, I think one of my new favorite characters is BB-8.
Yeah. There was a lot of humor surrounding that character.
I love that droid thing.
Do you like it more than R2-D2?
I mean, BB-8's definitely more capable of expressing things than R2-D2 is.
I love that C-3PO showed up for a whole 2.5 seconds just to let us know he has a red arm, basically.
Yeah. That was a very important scene.
We definitely needed
I almost didn't know it was C-3PO until he said his name.
And Snoke. Who is Snoke?
Jar Jar.
That would actually be awesome. I know a lot of people. I don't know how many people have read the Jar Jar theory, but I am totally on board with it. And I want Jar Jar to be Darth Plagueis, and in turn, I want Darth Plagueis to be Snoke. I want all three of these characters to be the same person.
That would be pretty crazy.
It would redeem Jar Jar a ton, but it would also make the prequel trilogy like watchable, because you'll be looking for like certain signs that leads you to believe that Jar Jar is in fact a Sith. It would just be a new spin on the original or the prequel trilogy. It would make it a little bit more interesting to watch for me personally.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities as far as Snoke's identity goes.
And I've seen some comparisons between like the scars on his face and the scars on Darth Vader's face, which it makes me even more convinced that this guy is in fact Plagueis. Like, because I feel like Plagueis apparently had the ability to come back to life. Maybe in some way he like took over Darth Vader's body, because I don't think that's Darth Vader. I just don't see that them taking that character in that direction. But I feel like this could totally be Snoke, but he is using Darth Vader's body. Like, maybe I'm crazy for thinking that, but it's just something that I'm really intrigued by, and I kind of hope they take the character in that direction.
You know, I think that would actually be able to explain why Kylo thinks that Darth Vader wanted to continue on with the Empire and he didn't, go back to being Anakin and stuff.
And plus, Kylo Ren, like the whole point of the character, like his whole motivation is to finish what Darth Vader started. And maybe he thinks that Snoke is Darth Vader. Like, maybe that's a possibility. I don't know. It's just some interesting speculation. Again, this movie, I'm almost more intrigued by the questions that Episode 7 raises than the actual movie itself, which is still a fun ride for me. It really is. But I'm more excited for Episode 8 than I am excited about watching Episode 7 again, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I definitely want to see where the story goes. So
before we move on to another subject, what would be your score for your rating for Episode 7 out of 10?
I still have to give it a 7. It was good. It didn't quite blow me away. Visually it did, but I don't know, there's just too many rehashed things with the story. It wasn't different enough for me. I wanted like something different. I understand it's not everyone's view, but I don't know. I was just...
So to get an idea of like how much you actually enjoyed this movie, give me like an average score, like a movie that you think is okay. Like what score would you give a movie that you think's okay?
An okay movie would probably get... Honestly, it'd probably get a 5 on my scale.
Okay, so Star Wars is definitely an above average movie. You'd consider it a good movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I say okay, that's just a movie I will watch, but there will definitely be like some shitty parts and parts I don't enjoy, but it's watchable.
Would you buy this on Blu-ray? Would you spend your hard-earned money to buy this movie on Blu-ray?
I mean, I'm kind of cheap, so I'd probably just wait for a trilogy set to come out.
Yeah. I'm a huge Blu-ray collector, so it doesn't even have to be a great movie for me to buy it. But my score for Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, it's changed a ton. Like, with each viewing and the more I think about the movie, like I said, I think I'm more intrigued by the questions that come from the movie than I am the actual movie, which is, like I said, a fun ride for me. But I'm going to stick with an 8 out of 10. I don't give too many movies 8 or higher, so it's definitely one of my favorite movies, probably in my top 100 movies of all time. But yeah, I think an 8 out of 10 is a good score for this. Something I definitely recommend to anybody who's interested in just a fun movie. It's definitely above average in terms of popcorn flicks, and something that I think anybody can enjoy, unless they're just looking for flaws. If they're going to watch the movie just looking for flaws and nothing but flaws, they're going to hate the movie. But if you just watch the movie and think, this is Star Wars, we're watching Star Wars again, and this is Star Wars, it feels like Star Wars, you're going to enjoy this movie.
Yeah. I don't know how to segue into the next topic.
Well, okay, J.J. Abrams. We just talked about one J.J. Abrams movie. There's another one coming out in 2 months, surprisingly. 2 months. Called 10 Cloverfield Lane. I don't know if you've seen the trailer yet, Brandon.
I have not. I meant to watch it before we started this.
It's definitely... the trailer gives hardly any answers to what the movie's even about. So...
Is it still the found footage format, or is it...
No. This is shot in a normal way. I don't really know what the proper term is. Normal is the first thing that comes to mind. But this movie stars John Goodman and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I think is how you pronounce her name, and then another guy, and they're all inside of a bunker. We're not sure why they're in a bunker, and in the trailer we don't know what's going on. Obviously, it's a teaser trailer. It's like a minute and a half long, but something happens between Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character and John Goodman's character, and she hits him over the head with a bottle, and tries to escape this bunker. And when she gets to the last door the last exit, she sees something outside, and then the trailer ends, and you just see the word Cloverfield, and then 10 and Lane fade in afterwards. We're not really sure how this relates to Cloverfield. I do know that J.J. Abrams said that he considers this a blood relative. I don't know if we're gonna see any monsters in it. It might be just like a chamber piece drama, but it's very interesting. And the crazy thing about this movie is nobody knew about this, and it comes out in 2 months.
I mean, I knew there was talk about a Cloverfield sequel back when the original one came out, but there was nothing after that. So This is definitely a surprise to me.
Yeah, there was no announcement. In fact, this movie went by a different name. I think it was Valencia or something like that. That was the title that it was going under for the longest time, until the trailer was just released with 13 hours. Like I said, I don't know if there's any monsters in it, but I can tell you right now the main character saw something outside. We don't know what it was. It could have been just a nuclear, maybe the world's destroyed. Maybe she saw a monster out there. I don't know. It's just a really interesting premise. Interesting premise, something that I can't wait to see on the big screen. Just because, like I said, I'm intrigued. And I wasn't... into the original marketing for the original Cloverfield film, but I know that it was a big deal, the viral marketing. Everybody was into it online, and this is kind of taking the same approach, it seems like.
Well, I'm definitely glad to hear that it's not found footage format. I think that's going to make it more enjoyable.
I actually liked the found footage.
I mean, I did like it, but it was kind of hard to watch it sometimes. At some points.
The fact that the camera was not moving in a natural way, we couldn't see what was going on, and that kind of added something to the movie. Turn the camera that way so I can see what was going on, and for that reason, it kept my interest the whole movie. I didn't know what was going on because this inexperienced cameraman was holding the camera the whole time and not allowing us to see what was going on. I think that really added a fun suspenseful element to the movie.
I wasn't saying the found footage doesn't add to the movie. It just, sometimes it kind of makes it hard to watch. It just kind of ends up being a blurry mess.
Yeah, I get that. It found footage, the shaky cam, it's extremely shaky. It can make you a little sick, but
Well, I'm hoping the Cloverfield monster itself is in this movie. I'd be a little disappointed.
Yeah, I get that. For right now, I'm gonna keep my expectations. I wouldn't say low because this could be a great movie on its own, but I'm not expecting a ton of monster action. Maybe a hint at some monsters. I'm not sure if this is a prequel or if this takes place after the original Cloverfield, or if this is even in the same universe on the same timeline. I just know that J.J. Abrams called it a blood relative. What exactly do you think blood relative means?
Well, I would think that it's like a sequel, but they took a lot of creative liberties and changed a lot of things, but you can still mostly tie it into the original. That's the only thing I can think of.
See, with the original, there's still a ton of questions that are unanswered, Like, we don't even know...
Like, I think we're going to be following new characters, probably maybe even in a new location, but it's still going to be like the Cloverfield monster aliens and such.
Yeah, like the poster, I don't think I told you about this yet, but the poster is basically just like a house set in the middle of the country. I don't know, like, the trailer doesn't show where they're at, like, on the outside. All we see is the interior of this bunker, but it's, like, built for, obviously, like, a nuclear holocaust. There's so many questions that need to be answered with this movie, and I'm not sure we're going to get all of them, because, like I said, in the original Cloverfield, did we really get an answer as to what the creature was, like where it's from, why it's here, or anything like that?
There's a scene at the end of the movie when it cuts back to the original footage that they recorded over at the carnival with something falling into the ocean that's believed to be the Cloverfield monster to some extent.
Huh. I might need to rewatch.
Did you not know about that?
Oh no, I've seen the movie like twice, and I didn't pay attention. I didn't read anything or pay attention to any of the viral marketing. I didn't read any fan reviews or anything like that. I basically watched the movie, and what I saw on screen, whatever caught my attention. That's really all I know. I don't know anything, any little things that kind of hidden.
I know there's some reversed audio in the credits that say something. I can't for the life of me remember. It's been so long.
See,
and I know there's hidden scenes on the DVD's menu that you can track down and watch.
Huh.
But yeah, it's been so long since I watched Cloverfield, I honestly can't remember, which kind of makes it a bad thing to put on our notes here to discuss.
Yeah, but see, I feel like we're in the same boat as a lot of people in that we don't have a clue as to what this movie is really about. But that's one thing I really like about the Cloverfield universe is there's a lot of unanswered questions. It just makes it fun to speculate. Like if there's a ton of ambiguity, which is really fun. When you're discussing movies with anybody, it's just fun to discuss a movie that is ambiguous. You don't know what the outcome of something is or why something happened. It just, that's one thing I really like about the Cloverfield movie, and something I'm looking forward to with 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to go back and rewatch the original Cloverfield, and I'm probably going to need to check out the trailer.
Yeah,
obviously.
for sure.
Yeah, but that's definitely a movie that came out of nowhere that I'm now really interested in seeing, because I did really like the original Cloverfield.
Yeah, not only is this a really interesting movie that I can't wait to see in 2016, there are a ton of great movies coming out in 2016, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
Probably the number one movie I'm most excited for, which a lot of people, they're excited for, but not to the extent that I am, is The Jungle Book. I'm a big fan of Jon Favreau. I love Iron Man. I like Zathura. I like Chef. I actually like Iron Man 2. And Elf, too. Elf is a great comedy. And this movie just looks really cool. All the CGI looks extremely realistic. I've seen the original animated Jungle Book, which I like a lot. I'm not blown away by it, but I do enjoy the film. And I think this one looks just really cool. It's got some great voice actors. It just looks like a really, really fun movie. Yeah, there's some movies out there that are probably going to turn out to be like even more fun and like just entertaining to watch as this one, but this one just looks really, really cool to me, and I cannot wait to see it.
Yeah, when you originally told me about The Jungle Book, I wasn't entirely sold on it. I'm like, oh, Disney's making a new live-action Jungle Book, whatever. It's gonna be, I don't know, dumb. I saw the trailer though on our last showing of Star Wars, and I have to say I kind of want to see that movie now. It looked really good. It
looks amazing in my opinion. Like I said, the voice actors, the talent, like Idris Elba, Christopher Walken, Lupita Nyong'o, I think is how you pronounce her name, who was the voice of Maz Kanata on The Force Awakens. And another a crazy thing that I read about this movie, which a lot of people seem to hate CGI, but this movie was filmed like almost entirely on green screen with one child actor.
Really?
Yeah. I don't remember the actor's name, but I think this might have been his first movie. But like everything about the movie is CG, which is insane because when you watch the trailer, it all looks like extremely realistic.
So this is basically an animated movie.
Yeah,
still.
yeah, in a sense, yeah. But it looks so realistic that you mistake it for live action.
Honestly, I knew that some of the environments would be CG, but I didn't realize all of them were. Because some of those actually looked like just jungle settings.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the CG just looks incredible in this movie. What another movie that I'm super excited about? I don't know what your thoughts are on the movie, but Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it. I'm not particularly wild about it.
What are your expectations as far as quality goes? Maybe not plot elements, but just like as far as how good you think the movie is.
I mean, I think it'll be a good action movie. I don't know that it'll be, particularly smart as an action movie.
See,
it's definitely not going to be like a Dark Knight.
I'm a huge
level.
fan of Zack Snyder. I love Man of Steel. As crazy as that sounds, a lot of people don't believe that. Don't have the same opinion as me.
Doesn't Batman have a gun in this?
That's what it appears. It appears that way at the end of the trailer, the latest full-length trailer that we got. I don't have that much of a problem with it. It kind of takes away the what's the word I'm looking for? Like Batman is a character that doesn't use weapons, and that kind of adds to like how great of a fighter he is. And but like I said, I don't know. I'm a huge fan of Zack Snyder. I like Man of Steel. I think 300 is a really great movie. I like Watchmen a lot. But what really has me intrigued with this movie and how well I think it's going to be is I think the writer's name is Chris Terrio. He wrote Argo, which he won the Academy Award for, I believe. If not, I think he was nominated, but he wrote the screenplay for this. So it's definitely got a smart screenwriter behind it, which that doesn't mean that much. It means something because there's a lot of characters crammed into this movie, and I feel like it's going to be handled in a smart way, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a really good movie to watch. That combined with the direction of Zack Snyder, which, like I said, I'm a big fan of him. I love the way he directs movies. With the actors, I'm a big fan of Ben Affleck. I think this is going to turn out really, really cool. This is going to be a really fun movie. You're going to see Batman and Superman on the big screen for the first time, and I cannot wait to see it.
I mean, all of my impressions are just based off the trailers. I haven't done a whole lot of research, and I'm glad that you have, because it would just be a lot of dead air at this point, because I'm not too knowledgeable on what's going on.
Are you more excited about the future of DC movies or Marvel movies at this point?
Probably. I don't know that I'm. That's a hard to answer question, because I feel like Marvel movies are kind of going downhill. I saw the last few trailers of Deadpool, and I am not sold. It looks so stupid.
Yeah, they're definitely pushing the marketing as this being a pretty heavy R-rated movie that's full of comedy. I'm definitely intrigued by it, but like overall, like as far as Marvel movies go, the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies specifically, they all follow the same formula. At least that's how it appears in my eyes. Like when I'm watching Age of Ultron, I feel like I've already seen this movie with the first Avengers. I might have said Marvel Age of Ultron, but anyway,
like close enough.
But anyway, like I just feel like all the movies follow the same formula. And I'm really intrigued by DC's movies, mainly because we're getting new characters. You know, we haven't seen Wonder Woman on the big screen ever. We're getting the Suicide Squad, which looks like a really clever action movie. I'm just really intrigued. I think the DC characters are just more fun to me. And maybe fun's not the right word. I think there's more depth to the DC characters in the comics. I'm not a big comics reader, but from what I have heard and what I have read, I know that there's more layers to each character, which will make the movies more of a character study, maybe darker, maybe not as like playful as the Marvel movies, but definitely more entertaining, like more thoughtful, something that I can sit and actually think about afterwards and get something. Whereas with the Marvel movies, I'm watching them and I'm watching a dumb, fun popcorn flick, and when I leave the theater, I kind of forget about it. And for that reason, I'm really, really intrigued by what DC has to offer rather than what Marvel has to offer.
I know probably the biggest movie I'm looking forward to this year is definitely going to be Star Wars Rogue One.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's Gareth Edwards. Godzilla was amazing. So hopefully it'll be similar to that. And it's supposed to be a gritty war movie?
Yeah. From what I've heard, Gareth Edwards, if you've seen Godzilla and Monsters, his style, he likes to do realism in his movies. I don't know how real you can get with a Godzilla movie, but he got pretty close with his Godzilla movie. And for Star Wars, which is a franchise built on fun, like popcorn flick elements such as like magic and like lightsabers and whatnot, this movie is going to take the franchise in a different direction from what I have heard. What Gareth Edwards said himself at some like Star Wars conventions, and this movie is supposed to be a lot like movies like Black Hawk Down and Saving Private Ryan and movies like that, but set in a sci-fi universe, which is a really cool concept to me. Like, I can't wait to see how he handles this. I think it's going to be, it's definitely going to be a lot different than your average Star Wars movie, so I wouldn't go into the movie expecting, like, stuff like Jedi and the Sith. But this movie, it's going to be a really cool, grounded Star Wars movie, and I'm a big fan of Gareth Edwards. He's probably my favorite up-and-coming director, maybe my favorite director. But that's definitely in my top 5, maybe my top 3 most anticipated movies of the year, maybe even my second one. I'm not really sure, but I do know it's one of the movies I plan on seeing multiple times in the theater.
Yeah, for you guys who don't know, which I don't know why you would not know at this point, Star Wars Rogue One is going to be a prequel to A New Hope. It's going to be about Rogue One stealing the plans to the Death Star, basically. Yeah.
So, I don't know. We might get a cameo from Darth Vader in the movie. That's a cool...
That would be cool. Hopefully they get James Earl Jones, or else it just wouldn't be right.
I mean, I'm cool with Darth Vader showing up, but I want this movie to be about characters we don't know.
Yeah.
And I want the characters to be interesting, obviously, but I want it to be characters we have never seen in a Star Wars movie, or maybe we have, but they haven't been fleshed out before.
It's definitely going to be interesting having a Star Wars movie without any sort of Jedi being the main focus as far as characters go.
But see, that's one thing that's I'm really excited about with this movie, because it's going to be grounded in reality as much as you can in a Star Wars movie anyway. It's like it's going to be a gritty war movie set in the Star Wars universe, and that's just really cool to me. That's a cool idea for a Star Wars movie.
What I'm wondering is how gritty is it going to be?
I'm hoping that it doesn't get like super serious, but I want to definitely see some really cool action set pieces. Like, I did see an image of the movie where like the rebels are getting off a ship and it's like raining outside. It's a really cool image.
I mean, like, it's probably going to be PG-13. I doubt it would be rated R. I just meant, like, is it going to actually be, like, bloody and, like, whoa, that guy's arm just...
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't expect that for sure.
I mean, that would be cool. I'd be cool with that.
Maybe we get a director's cut that's rated R. I'd be down for that if Gareth Edwards and Disney were down for it, but this is a Disney movie.
Yeah.
How many rated R movies does Disney release?
Has Disney ever put out a rated R movie?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be rated R.
So Rogue One is definitely one of your anticipated movies of the year?
I'd currently say it's my most anticipated, yeah.
All right, what are your thoughts on... I don't know if you played a whole lot of World of Warcraft or anything like that, but what are your thoughts on the new Warcraft movie coming out this year?
It looks cool. I don't know anything about World of Warcraft, but I'm definitely going to check out this movie. Maybe I'll learn some things about the game, or maybe it won't follow anything from the game. It's hard to say. I know there's a lot of game movies that are coming out.
Yeah, we have Assassin's Creed, I believe, coming out next year. There might be some others, but those are the two big ones that I know of, Warcraft and Assassin's Creed.
I think if the game movies this year go well, maybe the movie industry will start shifting its focus from comics to video games.
And I'm sure you're all super excited for this. I hope we get another live-action Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, yeah. It better be a direct sequel, too.
I think the guy who played Mario may have passed away.
Did he?
Unfortunately. Yeah, Bob Hoskins.
We'll just CG him in.
Yeah, sure.
Like they did in the Hunger Games.
It'll make the movie
face.
even better to have a CG Mario and have a live action Luigi. I think that'll definitely add something to the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wasn't it leaked that Sony might be making an animated Mario movie?
Like to be released?
Yeah, when they got like
theaters?
data hacked or whatever.
Oh, I wasn't aware of this. That's actually a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
You know, I played Mario when I was obviously like 10 years old or whatever, and I'd be interested in seeing an animated live action film. Not live action. That made no sense. An animated feature length film done right, and I think it would be a really entertaining movie to watch, even for a 22-year-old guy like myself.
Yeah, and if this Mario movie is, real, and it does go well, this will definitely open the door for Nintendo to experiment with just just any more media formats of their video games. Like, maybe we'll get like a Zelda TV show or something.
I did
like
hear
similar
that-
to Game of Thrones in that vein, but with Zelda, that'd be cool.
I heard that there was actually talk of getting a Zelda TV show on Netflix. I don't remember if that was true, or I didn't really look into it, but I do remember hearing about that not that long ago.
I remember that, and I really have no idea if that's true. I hope it's true, because that would be cool.
Are there any other video games you would like to be seen adapted into a feature-length film or a TV series or anything like that?
I think the Monster Hunter series from Capcom would be really cool as either a TV show or a movie. Like, honestly, there's so much like source material to work off from that game. Like, I mean, there's hundreds of monsters within that game. There's a lot of environments. I don't know.
So is it kind of like I don't play video games that much, but is Monster Hunter kind of like what is the name of that game? Like
it plays similar to Dark Souls to an extent, where it's very just you against another enemy that could easily kill you in like one hit. Monster Hunter is kind of just like a boss battle game. Like you go over to your quest area, you accept a quest to fight whatever monster to get something, and you just go into this enclosed environment that's part of the world, I guess. And you track down the monster and you just beat the shit out of it for like an hour.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds like an extremely entertaining game.
It's not like a hack and slash. You're kind of locked into the animation when you start an attack, so you really have to be precise and plan out your strategies against fighting. Against fighting, yes. Yeah, you have to plan out your strategies when fighting monsters, and they are not easy to take down. They will like destroy you in 2 to 3 hits if you fuck up. Like, Monster Hunter does not forgive being reckless. It's definitely a very challenging game, and I think it would be very good as a TV show or a movie. And that's my thoughts on Monster Hunter.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I should try playing this game sometime.
I would definitely recommend it to people. It's not a game for everyone. It does require a lot of patience and a lot of grinding and just a lot of learning the movesets of every monster and making sure you don't screw up and die like in one hit from them.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a lot of monsters that do an attack that is normally referred to as like a hip check, where it like kind of slams its body into you, and that's usually a one-hit KO for most monsters. So I know a lot of newcomers just get destroyed by attacks like that instantly.
I really wish I could contribute to this conversation. I mean, I'm really interested in stuff you have to say about the game. If you have anything else,
I mean, I'm still kind of a noob myself when it comes to Monster Hunter, so I wish I had more to discuss about it. I don't.
Like, how old is this game exactly?
Monster Hunter has been around since 2003, I think.
Oh, really? So I'm guessing it has a fairly decent following.
It's had a cult following for the most part up until the last 2 installments in the States with 3 Ultimate and 4 Ultimate. Those came out on the Nintendo 3DS, and that's kind of what's really pushed Monster Hunter forward as far as popularity goes. I know that's when I first heard about it, is when 3 Ultimate came out. One of my favorite YouTubers at the time, the Game Grumps, did a series where they were playing Monster Hunter, and I was like, whoa, this game's cool, I need to buy it. And it was $20 at GameStop, so, we went for it, and I got it for Christmas.
So is this on, like, modern systems? I don't know what generation we're in now, but whatever, like the PS4 and Xbox One. Did you find this game on those?
It's currently only been coming out on the Nintendo 3DS at the moment.
Oh, so it's a Nintendo game. I should have known.
It was on Sony consoles beforehand.
Oh, okay.
So it's hard to say where it'll show up next.
All right. Are there any other games, any like new kind of games that you'd recommend somebody like me play?
That's kind of a deep question here.
Because
that depends on what you're looking for from a game.
Yeah, I don't play a ton of games. Most games I play are brainless action first-person shooter games like Call of Duty, and I don't play them because I think they're great games. They're just really fun to play online. And there are some games I have a friend of mine who's always trying to get me to play games like, I cannot think of the name of this game for some reason, like Destiny or whatever. I think that's the name of the game. But yeah, he's always trying to get me to play games like that. Is that kind of like what Monster Hunter is, like a Destiny type game? Because that's what I was trying to ask earlier. I couldn't remember the name of the game, but now that I do.
I don't think they're really that similar. I know Destiny had like a shit ton of DLC after the game came out, which kind of killed off the hype for it for a lot of people.
Okay. What about the new Star Wars game? That one's
Star Wars
been a big
Battlefront?
hit.
I know I'm gonna get shit for this, but I actually really like the new Battlefront game. I haven't played any of the original ones, which is probably why I like the new one, but it's cool. Like, there's this mode where you can play as heroes versus villains, so it would be Leia, Luke, Han Solo, and... No, I think it's just those guys against the Emperor, Darth Vader, and Boba Fett. And then, there's obviously support from other players, just as random rebels and stormtroopers. But it's really fucking fun.
Yeah, I've never played the game personally, but I've seen him play it along with my little brother, and they seem to have a ton of fun playing it. It makes me want to play it.
Yeah, and there's a dogfight mode where you can, like, fly around TIE fighters and X-Wings. And there's a mode where you control the AT-ST walker, and you can shoot people. And it's just fun. Lots of explosions. The environments are very nice looking. The game itself, graphically, is amazing. The audio is really nice. The gameplay's fun. It's just, I don't know, there's a lot of DLC coming out. But that's just what EA does. And I know people are kind of disappointed with the amount of content in the game, which I guess is understandable because the game is $60 retail. But I think even if it was like $40, I don't think people would be that upset about how much content they're getting. I didn't pay for it because I've just been playing it over here. I don't own the game, but I've been enjoying myself with it.
Staying on the topic of Star Wars, I know that it's a big deal, obviously, in the gaming community, but I don't know of any other Star Wars games aside from Battlefront. Is there any specific Star Wars game you consider the Star Wars game? For a true Star Wars fan, somebody one that's not going to disappoint.
A true, I don't know a lot about Star Wars.
I heard about one game called The Old Republic or something like that. I know I've seen trailers for it, but
I hear about that game. I know. Fun fact: Super Empire Strikes Back for the Super Nintendo is considered one of the hardest Super Nintendo games released ever.
What's it called again?
It's called Super Empire Strikes Back. And
I like that title.
I own that game, and it is fucking impossible. I got past the first level and the first boss, and that's pretty much it. It's insanely hard. I see why people, and that's just the first level. It gets harder. So I can definitely understand why it's on a lot of people's top 10 hardest games list for that system.
Huh, that's interesting. Something that I was interested in hearing your thoughts on. They're releasing the original 3 Pokemon movies on Blu-ray, and I know that there's a new Pokemon game coming out. At least I think so. I mean, or maybe it already came out. I'm not totally sure, but I know you're a big Pokemon fan. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a big Pokemon fan. I used to be a big Pokemon fan, and I'm still trying to get back into it. They're releasing the first 3 movies on Blu-ray?
Yeah, Pokemon the movie.
Are they new masters of the film? Do you know?
I haven't looked into it because I just know that it's up for pre-order on Amazon, but I don't know if there's any details that have been released.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's the 20th anniversary for Pokemon this year, which is fucking insane.
Oh, that makes sense why they're releasing it now.
It doesn't feel like Pokemon's 20 years old.
It makes you feel old.
Yeah, it makes me feel really old, because I'm going to be 20 this year.
You grew up with Pokemon, literally.
Yeah. I know we're getting special edition 2DSs for red, blue, and yellow, which look really cool. They're translucent, and they're obviously red, blue, and yellow colored. But yeah, Game Freak typically releases a Pokemon game annually, and we didn't get a game last year. So I'm thinking that they're planning something really big for this year. That's my hope, anyways. They have Game Freak purchased an ad slot for the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay, yeah, that definitely
so if there was ever
something big from Pokemon, potentially.
If there was ever a time to announce a new, very, very big game, that would be the time to announce it.
So this is the 20th anniversary of Pokemon. Do you think there's any other big things aside from maybe just the games? I know I told you about the Blu-ray movies. Is there anything else maybe involving Pokemon coming out this year, you think?
Not that I've heard of.
Is Ash finally going to turn 11?
Maybe.
Isn't he? I think he's 10 in the show, right?
Honestly, I saw a little bit of the Japanese version dubbed, or subbed, I mean, and it said he was 13.
Oh,
so
wow.
He's aged 2 years.
2 years and 20. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Ash would be a 30-year-old man by this point if he aged naturally.
I kind of wish that was the show right now. 30-year-old Ash doing his thing. Maybe he's a drunk, potentially.
He just gives up on life from failing every Pokemon league.
Maybe he
he's entered.
abuses Pikachu, not sexually, or maybe he does. I don't know. We'll see. But that would be an interesting show to watch.
Someone's phone vibrated. I think that's my phone. Whoops.
But Pokemon 20th anniversary. I did not know that. That's a pretty cool fact.
I'm definitely hoping for a new game. I'm willing to bet that it's going to be another entry in the X and Y series. I'm going to guess we're getting Pokemon Z. I'd be surprised otherwise, but honestly, like Game Freak, they don't really like to push the boundaries. They don't like to experiment anymore, I feel. They're like, okay, this is how Pokemon was. We're just going to keep making Pokemon the same way, which is kind of what killed it for me. It got really stale over time. Just like, oh, I got to fight the gym leaders and go to the Elite Four again. Yay. And that's pretty much every Pokemon game for the last 20 years.
This isn't totally related to Pokemon. Although in my mind, as a young kid, I always like associated these two together. But there's a new Yu-Gi-Oh movie coming out this year that I'm super excited about. It's got the original cast returning, and like the guy who created the manga is coming back to make the movie. I thought that was just another interesting thing coming out this year. I think it's called Yu-Gi-Oh like something Dark Side of Dimensions. Like I hope we get that in America pretty soon, like not long after the release in Japan.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I used to like Yu-Gi-Oh so much, and then it just kind of kept changing and evolving, and I didn't want it to.
Is there still like a modern Yu-Gi-Oh show? Like is there one right now?
There's something called Yu-Gi-Oh Zexal.
I stopped after GX. I thought GX was fantastic.
It's some guy with pink hair, and he has like an alter ego cyber ghost partner that follows him, and it's just confusing.
Yu-Gi-Oh is actually a pretty messed up show if you think about it. These are characters basically getting possessed by like souls inside these Millennium items. That's kind of messed up when you think about it.
I think Yu-Gi-Oh should go back to the basics and expand upon it.
For sure.
As far as the story goes, at least.
Like that's one thing. That's why I'm really excited about this new Yu-Gi-Oh film. Is that we're getting Yugi and Kaiba and Joey and Taya and Tristan, right? Tristan?
Yeah.
They're all returning, and there's like a new villain in it. I'm hoping this really expands on the universe. Maybe, like I want to see like kind of like the new Star Wars movie. I want to see a lot of the old stuff, but I want to see new stuff added in to make it fresh. That's one thing I'm really excited about with this movie. Sure.
With Yu-Gi-Oh, we don't need the future. We don't need apocalypse. We don't need motorcycles.
We just need dueling.
We just need Domino City, Millennium items, and dueling.
Exactly.
And the Shadow Realm.
And crazy hair from Yugi.
Yeah.
Who does his hair, by the way? Like, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Where can I find a hairstylist to get my hair like that?
If I could get my hair to look like that, I would, like... How many girls could you pick up with hair like that, for real? How many girls do you think Yugi's picked up in his time?
All of them.
All of them. Yeah. Some great hair on that guy.
He's got all leather clothing. He's got the hair.
Whoa. Yeah. Yugi.
And he can also magically grow 2 feet in height.
Yeah, like he basically goes through puberty in like 2 seconds.
So after Yugi goes through puberty, does he just not visually change?
Yeah, when he becomes a full-grown man, what happens?
I don't know.
I actually never watched Yu-Gi-Oh! The original show all the way through. This might have been explained. Something might have happened in like the last season.
I think Yami leaves.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I think they might have dueled at the end, Yami and Yugi, but I'm not sure. Like I've probably seen through season 3. I don't know if that makes me a true Pokemon or true Yu-Gi-Oh fan, but I think 3 seasons with they're all 50 episodes. I think that's pretty substantial for me. I'm going to consider myself a pretty hardcore Yu-Gi-Oh fan. But yeah, I don't know what happens. Like if he's a full-grown man, if he still has the Millennium item, does anything happen to him?
I don't know. That's definitely something I'd have to look into.
See, we should be behind this movie doing weird stuff like that.
I'm ruining the podcast with my phone.
Actually, I think we've discussed a lot of things we wanted to talk about, and I think this has been a pretty fun video to do. Pretty fun podcast. Hopefully, you all enjoyed listening to us talk.
Yeah. Hopefully, it didn't stretch on for too long.
If you're still here right now, I'm impressed.
Yeah. For one, thank you. For two, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like
So-
this has been a really fun 54 minutes and 20 seconds now.
Yeah, obviously, this is gonna get better with time. It's gonna have tighter commentating and stuff with time. This has actually gone on for surprisingly long, a lot longer than I thought the first episode would go.
Yeah, I guess we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we're almost an hour in.
One thing I'm impressed by, just it's a stupid thing. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about it right now, but I'm impressed that we managed to talk about the Star Killer base for 4 minutes or something like that. That right there is what you guys, the viewers, want to hear.
Yeah.
But till next time on Nerd Talk Network, I'm Josh, one of the co-hosts.
Yeah, I'm Brandon, also a co-host, I guess.
And again, thanks for listening. Talk to you later.
Yeah, goodbye. Have a great fucking night or something, I don't know.
Woo!
How do we end this? I guess I'll just stop midway through my sentence.